Okay, I think we are live. Yeah, okay. Good morning, everybody. We're here really early this morning because while the world is waking up to the news of George Floyd, the good news about George Floyd and that we see accountability at last. Right at the other end of America, just past Florida, just past the tip of Florida, is the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean is the island of St. Vincent. And we are we're appealing for your help today. We're appealing for help from Cumbria, for people who are going through a really difficult time in St. Vincent in the Caribbean right now. And I want to bring in Jadonna Lewis, who is going to talk us through what's happening in St. Vincent. And hopefully when you hear her appeal, you'll want to help as well. So good morning, Jadonna.
Good morning. Hi. Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, not too bad. It's very early, so thank you for coming on this early to talk to us. Tell us what's happening in St. Vincent at the moment.
So at the moment, I'm not sure how many people are aware of the island. The volcano started smoking before Christmas, and at first it was just smoking, so there wasn't really any real urgency to do anything about it. Okay. But on Friday the 9th of April, we had the first eruption, and since then the eruptions haven't stopped. The lava dome has exploded, which means there's been lava going down the north and east side of the island, and quite a large part of the island, which is the northern tip, have mostly been evacuated. Now, I know there are still some families and individuals that are still stuck in the red and the orange zones, which I believe NEMO, which is an organisation for national disasters and emergencies, are trying to help some of these individuals get out where they can. But a lot of them have been disbanded and separated from each other, and a lot of them don't know where other members of the family have been evacuated to, if at all they have been evacuated. So it's quite a serious matter at the minute, and I'm just trying to spread as much word as I can in the areas where I live to try and make it more well known, to see if we can, try and get as much help to these families that need it at the moment. And for me, it's quite a personal issue because it is the island I was born on, and I lived there for a very short time in my life, but it means a lot to me, and about 95% of my family still live over there as well.
Okay, and whereabouts are you based, Jadonna?
I live in Kendal, so smack bang in the centre of the lakes.
Right, okay.
I've been here since 1995, which is why I've got such a British accent.
Okay, so you've been over here for a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, super. And just tell us then a little bit, so this ash is coming down, so what happens is the volcano starts bubbling and erupting, and then all this ash goes up, and then the ash has got to come back down, presumably.
Well, yeah. The ash has been coming, not only has they've been having quite a lot of acid rain, and I think in the red zone at the minute, I think they've measured it about 30 centimetres worth of ash, like in the most devastated part of the island, which you can presume is a lot. You don't really tend to get that in snowfall in this country. And I know there's pictures that I've seen that my family have sent me of houses where the roofs have collapsed because of the weight of ash. They just can't hold it. And I mean, you think, yes, a volcano, and it is a stratovolcanic eruption, which means most of it's like rock and ash at the minute. And sometimes people don't realise that still comes with quite a lot of danger as well. So there's people who've got asthma who it's hard for them to be evacuated because they can't breathe if they go outside the house. They've got to keep the doors and the windows and everything shut. And there's small children who suffer with asthma who they don't know what's going on, and they're scared, and their parents are scared because they can't get them out. And it's really quite heartbreaking to see some of the pictures I've been sent from my family where there's people just sat in the street because they don't have anywhere to go. They've just got one small bag of clothes with them, and they don't know what they're going to do. They have nowhere to go and nowhere to get out. And I know there was a period where the ash was quite thick, where they couldn't even get into some of these parts of the island to help evacuate because they just couldn't see in front of them.
Okay, so visibility is gone. It's all getting on your chest, eyes, lungs, just everything really, and the heat, all of that.
Yeah.
Where are they evacuating these people to? Where are they taking them? So the red zone is obviously where the worst area is hit, and where are they taking them to get them out of the red
zone? They've been taken down. There is a green zone in the Caribbean, which is a very southern tip. Which is at I'm not sure if anyone's aware of the island itself. Kingston, which is the capital, is right at the bottom of the island. So a lot of people have been evacuated down to that end. And then there's Evacuation, all the small islands that make up St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, St. Lucia. But sorry, that's my phone there. Okay. There's other parts of the Caribbean where they're getting evacuated too, but even St. Vincent, St. Lucia and Barbados, they've started having ash flow land on them as well. So dependent on where they get evacuated to, there's always going to be something that's happening there as well. So it's not just the island, but it's a bigger part of that's going on as well. And St. Vincent...
when they're evacuated... Sorry, go on, you finish.
St. Vincent itself is only quite a small island, so runs about 20 miles from the top to the bottom. So even down in the bottom there, ash flow that they've had landed on there is still quite thick as well. Right,
okay. And so it's going over to Barbados and other parts of the Leeward Islands, which all make up that actual area. So when they're evacuated, they're sent maybe to Barbados or St. Lucia or all those surrounding areas, where are they being put up? What's happening with them, and what happens in terms of being able to go back as well?
There's quite a vast list of schools and churches where they're getting evacuated to, and I know a lot of them things that have been sent over to them are going to all these camps that have got a lot of people in them. But there are other families that are taking people on board as well, who I think sometimes I'm not sure if they've really been remembered to help them as well, because they're also trying to help other people. When and if they can go back, it's a case of rebuilding their lives from scratch again, because everything that they've got is going to be absolutely destroyed. The crops, like the horticulture and agricultural life, is all destroyed. Any farm life they've got, if the animals have survived, it's going to be trying to group them back together and basically look after them, because they're going to be ill from breathing in all this ash and possibly drinking rainwater, which is contaminated with sulfur and acid. So it's going to be a really long way to get back to what they knew before.
Absolutely. So it's a proper huge disaster. And in terms of the volcano, is the ash still coming down? Are we still erupting, or are we starting to clear? You said if and when they get back.
I spoke to my cousin on Tuesday. They're 5 hours behind, so I spoke to her about 2:00 on Tuesday morning, and she's advised me that the volcano is still erupting, still letting off ash. So it hasn't really, it has slowed down, but it hasn't stopped. And it's been said, I think, that there's still going to be more eruptions to come. So it's still an ongoing thing, which is why I'm appealing for as much help as possible.
Okay. And I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that last time that the volcano erupted, it took about 6 or 7 months for the eruptions to stop. So we could be looking at quite some time.
Last time it erupted was in 1979, somewhere around there, and it did take quite a long time, but they're pinning this one down on the eruption that they had in 1902, which was a lot worse than the last eruption, and took obviously a lot longer for the island to get back to normal.
Right, okay. And actually that makes it even worse, doesn't it? The longer it takes, and what they're going back to is literally going to be devastation. It's unlikely that these farm animals will survive. The crops will have definitely gone. They're literally destitute.
Yeah, and a lot of these islands live off the land that they live on. So they work their land, they grow their own crops, and then they use them crops to sell. So they have their income. And if they don't have that, they've got nothing to go back to at all, really. Right. For these ones, with families and young children, it's just devastating to know that when they go back, they're just going to be going back to destruction. It's really, really heartbreaking to see.
it is heartbreaking. I've seen some of the scenes. I've seen the ash in Barbados and some of the video footage of that. And St. Vincent is part of the Commonwealth. It's part of the Commonwealth, isn't it?
It is. So we are part of the British Commonwealth in the fact that we share the same Queen and same laws and everything like that. Yeah. Right. So definitely, I'm appealing for as much of the British people to help. I know we don't see it as part of our culture and part of our island, but we share something which I feel like anywhere that you can help would be really massively appreciated.
Well, I certainly see it as part of as part of our heritage. The Commonwealth is part of Britain's heritage. We're told that a lot in history and in school and constantly that we are part of the Commonwealth, and that we should be very proud of that fact. My family's Jamaican, part of the Commonwealth. We share the same capital, so our capital is also Kingston. So it's important that people do make that connection, and that we are part of the Commonwealth and we should be helping. And I don't think it's had that much media coverage. Where I've heard it has been from other friends from the Caribbean and family from the Caribbean, but not that much in the British media. So we really want to try and give it as much attention as we can. And Judonna, tell us how we can help. What can we do?
So I have set up a GoFundMe on my Facebook, and the link is on my Facebook. So any donation, whether it's small or big, would be absolutely amazing. We are also collecting toys, clothes, books. My cousin's actually en route down to Birmingham this morning to take 2 barrels to ship them across, and we're hoping to do another one towards the end of the week or next week as well. So between myself, my cousin and my sister, we're trying to gather as much as we can to ship back. So at the minute we're focusing on Peterborough as a community and the residents there, and then from then on we're going to move towards some of the other communities surrounding that red zone and orange zone areas as much as we can.
Okay, and what sort of things are you looking for from people? And the nation will come back to the GoFundMe page. We will put a link on our page. But what kind of things do they need?
So they need clothes desperately, because when they've had to evacuate, they've basically just been able to take what they can hold. Books or things to stimulate kids, to sort of, just comfort them a little bit, to stop them from being too scared and worried. Toothbrushes, bottles of water, dried foods or canned foods, anything that lasts for a long time, won't perish easily, because with shipping, obviously it takes about 10 days so to get there. So nothing fresh, but just any small things, new or old, it doesn't matter. Anything's greatly appreciated. And
how do we get things to you?
You can either contact myself on Facebook at Judonna Lewis, or my cousin Linton Edwards, and we can either pick it up from yourself or you can drop it off to us.
Okay, brilliant. All right. And if people want to donate money as well, they can go GoFundMe page.
Yeah, and that's on my Facebook page.
Excellent. Okay, so we're looking for clothes, we're looking for toys, we're looking for books, presumably things like nappies. There'll be young children, young babies, toddlers who will need things like that. Anything like that, and any non-perishable foods, any dried foods, any tinned foods, all of that would be absolutely greatly received.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. And if people can donate any money as well, we've got a GoFundMe page as well that we can donate to. Brilliant. Judonna, thank you very much. We will put all of that information, we'll put the GoFundMe link in our post, and we will tag you if we can on our post, and if not, we'll tag you in comments so people can send you a message and find out how they can drop things off and get things to you. And of course, we'll make sure that everything's COVID safe, so that people feel safe to be able to do that as well.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for your help today.
Thank you. That's all right. Thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about it. Hopefully we'll have more people talking about it, but more importantly, people will be able to help. And that's really where we want to get to today. So thank you so much for finding the time to come on and chat to us this morning. It's been educational, and I'm glad to understand so much more about it. And if anybody doesn't know where St. Vincent is, go and have a look. It's just below the tip of Florida. It's in the Caribbean. It's part of the Leeward Islands. There's a whole set of very tiny little islands dotted along, and they are in dire straits and need our help. They are part of the Commonwealth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jadonna. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.